The video begins by throwing viewers directly into chaos with a claim so outrageous that it instantly forces people to keep watching. The narrator opens by bringing up an old clip where Kim Kardashian casually admits to being around ecstasy, immediately creating a feeling that something hidden has been sitting in plain sight this entire time. Before the audience even has time to process what they just heard, the narration pivots into a much darker accusation involving Kris Jenner, Hollywood elites, and a massive cocaine seizure connected to a Skims shipment in Europe. The pacing never slows down for even a second. Instead of carefully explaining everything, the narrator intentionally moves fast, stacking allegation after allegation in a way that overwhelms the viewer and creates the illusion that all these disconnected events must somehow be tied together. The script then shifts into describing the arrest of a truck driver in Europe who was allegedly caught transporting millions of dollars worth of cocaine hidden inside a shipment connected to Kim Kardashian's Skims brand. The narration describes the situation like the beginning of a massive Hollywood scandal that authorities are only just beginning to uncover. The truck itself becomes symbolic in the story, not just because of the drugs that were found, but because of the connection to one of the biggest celebrity brands in the world. The narrator carefully frames the situation in a way that makes the audience feel like they're seeing the first crack in a much larger secret operation. Even though there is no confirmed evidence tying Kim Kardashian directly to the crime, the script uses suspicion and dramatic wording to make viewers emotionally connect the dots themselves. Then the video escalates even further by introducing Ray J into the narrative. The moment his name appears, the entire tone changes because viewers already associate him with one of the most controversial moments in Kardashian history. The narrator explains that Ray J allegedly warned people that federal investigations were coming and claimed that Kris Jenner was the real mastermind behind everything happening behind the scenes. The script uses phrases like "the feds are coming and it's worse than Diddy" specifically because those phrases trigger fear, curiosity, and urgency in the audience. Suddenly the story no longer feels like internet gossip. The narrator wants viewers to believe this is turning into a full-scale criminal investigation involving powerful celebrities and federal agencies. What makes this section especially effective is the way it blends real news footage with speculation and celebrity clips. The audience hears actual reports about the cocaine seizure, then immediately hears dramatic accusations from social media live streams and interviews. That combination creates confusion in a way that benefits the video because it becomes difficult for viewers to separate verified facts from exaggerated claims. The narrator leans into that confusion on purpose. Every new detail is presented like another piece of evidence in a giant puzzle that's slowly exposing Hollywood corruption. The script then jumps backward into older controversies involving Kim Kardashian and alleged drug references from years earlier. The narrator reminds viewers about a Snapchat video where people online claimed there were suspicious white lines visible in the background. Even though Kim denied the accusations at the time, the script reframes the moment as something potentially intentional. This is another major tactic used throughout the video, taking past internet rumors and presenting them in a way that sounds newly important because of current events. The audience starts feeling like all these incidents were warning signs nobody paid attention to. Then comes one of the biggest retention moments in the entire opening section. The narrator brings up Kim openly talking about using ecstasy during major moments in her life, including her marriage and the infamous tape that made her famous. Instead of presenting this calmly, the script treats the confession like shocking evidence that validates every theory being discussed. The narration emphasizes phrases like "everything bad would happen and everyone knows it," making the situation feel darker and more dangerous than it originally appeared. By this point, the audience is no longer just hearing celebrity gossip. The video has transformed into a conspiracy narrative about manipulation, fame, drugs, and hidden control within Hollywood. The reason this first section works so well for retention is because it constantly escalates without ever fully resolving anything. Every answer leads to another accusation. Every clip creates another question. The narrator never allows viewers to relax because the story keeps evolving into something bigger. One moment it's a celebrity scandal, then suddenly it becomes a federal investigation, then an alleged Hollywood network, then organized corruption involving powerful people behind the scenes. The audience keeps watching because they want to see how far the story will go next. By the end of this opening point, the narrator has successfully created a feeling that Hollywood itself is hiding something massive just beneath the surface. Whether viewers believe the accusations or not almost doesn't matter anymore because the script has already achieved its goal, keeping people emotionally invested long enough to continue into the next reveal. As the video continues, the tone becomes even darker as the narrator shifts away from the initial drug smuggling allegations and begins building a much larger story about manipulation, exploitation, and control inside Hollywood. The pacing remains aggressive, but now the script starts connecting older Kardashian controversies together as if they were all pieces of the same hidden operation. Instead of treating each scandal separately, the narrator presents them like chapters in a long-running strategy orchestrated by Kris Jenner from the very beginning of Kim Kardashian's rise to fame. The video focuses heavily on Ray J's explosive accusations regarding the infamous tape that launched Kim Kardashian into mainstream celebrity culture. The narrator describes Ray J not simply as an ex-boyfriend, but almost like a former insider finally exposing secrets he allegedly kept buried for years. The storytelling here is designed to make viewers feel like they are listening to someone revealing forbidden information that powerful people desperately wanted hidden. The audience is reminded that for decades the Kardashian empire has carefully controlled its image, and the narrator frames Ray J's statements as the first major crack in that carefully crafted public narrative. The script slows down slightly during this section, not to reduce tension, but to allow the accusations to sink in deeper. According to the narrator, Ray J claimed Kris Jenner personally managed the release of the tape and even pushed for additional recordings because she believed controversy would generate more fame or money. The way the narration presents this allegation is extremely important. Instead of sounding emotional or chaotic, the narrator speaks with a calm certainty that makes the claims feel more believable to viewers. Even though they remain heavily disputed, the audience is encouraged to see Kris Jenner not as a protective mother, but as a calculated business mastermind willing to sacrifice anything for power and influence. Then the script escalates again by introducing the idea that Kris Jenner allegedly treated fame like a business investment. The narrator explains that every scandal surrounding the Kardashian family somehow seemed to benefit them financially. Every controversy led to more headlines, more attention, more sponsorships, and larger television deals. This section is designed to create suspicion in the viewer's mind. The narrator repeatedly implies that nothing in Hollywood happens accidentally, especially when millions of dollars are involved. By repeating this theme, the script encourages viewers to question whether the Kardashian empire was built through careful planning rather than coincidence. The video then transitions into discussing the legal settlement connected to the tape controversy. The narrator describes leaked documents, signatures, and claims involving millions of dollars changing hands. Even though much of the information is speculative or disputed publicly, the script presents the existence of agreement and settlements like undeniable confirmation that hidden deals were happening behind closed doors. This is another major retention tactic, presenting incomplete information in a way that sounds like a massive revelation. The audience begins filling in the blanks themselves, which keeps them emotionally involved in the narrative. What makes this section especially effective is the constant emotional reframing of Kris Jenner's role in the Kardashian family. The narrator repeatedly returns to the idea that she sees her children less as family members and more as business opportunities. Every clip, every accusation, and every old controversy is positioned to support that image. Even harmless moments become suspicious through the way the narration describes them. The audience slowly starts viewing every Kardashian success story through a darker lens because the script trains viewers to interpret everything as part of a larger plan. Then the video pivots into another major accusation involving Kris Jenner's church. The narrator introduces this topic carefully, first questioning why someone associated with luxury lifestyles and non-stop business ventures would suddenly establish a church organization. This rhetorical framing immediately creates distrust before any actual claims are even discussed. The script then introduces allegations that the church may have functioned as a financial shelter connected to larger hidden activities. The narrator explains how churches can receive tax advantages and maintain private financial records, using those real facts to make speculative accusations feel more plausible. This section becomes especially manipulative in how it blends humor with conspiracy. The narrator sarcastically comments on celebrity wealth, tithes, and financial loopholes while discussing accusations of money laundering and hidden transactions. That sarcastic tone makes the audience feel like they are part of an inside joke, almost like they are waking up to truths regular people refuse to see. This is a very common retention strategy in viral commentary videos because it builds emotional loyalty between the narrator and the viewer. The audience starts trusting the narrator more simply because the narrator sounds confident and conversational. The video then widens the scope far beyond the Kardashians by bringing in larger stories involving Hollywood corruption, celebrity overdoses, and powerful insiders protecting each other. The narrator references investigations tied to drug suppliers connected to major celebrity deaths and suggests that public arrests may only be distractions hiding more powerful individuals operating behind the scenes. This transition is extremely important because it transforms the story from celebrity drama into something much larger and more dangerous. Suddenly the audience feels like they are watching an investigation into the hidden structure of Hollywood itself. At this point, the video is no longer relying only on shock value. It begins leaning heavily into paranoia and emotional tension. The narrator creates the feeling that every celebrity scandal, overdose, leak story, and mysterious event might be connected to one massive hidden network controlled by elite figures. Whether the evidence supports these conclusions becomes almost irrelevant because the emotional momentum of the script is carrying viewers forward. Each accusation creates another emotional spike, and every spike makes the next claim feel easier to believe. The most important thing this section accomplishes is turning Kris Jenner into the symbolic center of the entire conspiracy narrative. The narrator presents her as someone who allegedly controls fame, manipulates scandals, manages relationships, and possibly profits from darker hidden operations within Hollywood culture. By the end of point 2, viewers are left feeling like they are no longer hearing isolated rumors about celebrities. Instead, the script wants them to believe they are uncovering the hidden business model behind modern fame itself, where controversy, manipulation, and scandal are all carefully weaponized for profit and influence. By the final section of the video, the narrator completely abandons the idea that these are isolated celebrity controversies and instead presents Hollywood itself as a deeply connected system built on manipulation, control, and secrecy. The tone becomes much more intense here because the script is no longer focused only on Kim Kardashian or Kris Jenner. Instead, the Kardashian family becomes the gateway into a much larger conspiracy involving music executives, billionaires, celebrity parties, unexplained deaths, and powerful elites allegedly protecting one another behind closed doors. The narrator begins tying the Kardashian accusations to Diddy Combs and the growing scandals surrounding his parties and inner circle. The video explains that federal investigators allegedly spent years building cases against major figures because the crimes were supposedly much larger than the public realized. The audience is made to feel like they are watching the collapse of an entire hidden Hollywood structure that operated in plain sight for decades. The narration constantly repeats phrases about networks, organizations, and systems to make the accusations feel coordinated and massive in scale, rather than random individual incidents. The script then introduces the idea of celebrity mules and insiders whose purpose was allegedly to move substances, money, and influence between powerful people without attracting suspicion. This is where the storytelling becomes especially dramatic because the narrator frames celebrity culture itself as a carefully controlled machine. According to the video, public fame is merely the surface, while darker activities supposedly happen behind luxury mansions, private jets, exclusive parties, and billion-dollar businesses. The audience is encouraged to see every glamorous celebrity image as a distraction hiding corruption underneath. Then the narration pivots into discussing celebrity overdose cases and unsolved deaths. The script references major stars whose deaths generated unanswered questions and implies that suppliers, enablers, and powerful insiders may have escaped accountability. The narrator speaks slowly during this section, creating a heavier emotional atmosphere compared to the rapid pacing earlier in the video. This tonal shift is intentional because it gives the impression that the story has moved from gossip into something tragic and dangerous. The audience is no longer just entertained, they are supposed to feel disturbed. The video especially focuses on the idea that Hollywood protects itself at all costs. According to the narrator, lower-level figures are often blamed publicly while more powerful people remain untouchable behind the scenes. This idea becomes the emotional core of the entire documentary-style narrative. Every previous accusation involving drugs, scandals, leaked tapes, and celebrity manipulation is reframed as evidence of a much larger power structure that allegedly survives by controlling information and sacrificing smaller players when necessary. The narrator then escalates the tension even further by bringing Kanye West back into the story. Kanye is presented almost like someone who recognized the dangers of the Kardashian machine before anyone else. The script revisits his public breakdowns and controversial statements, but instead of portraying him as unstable, the narrator frames him as someone trying to warn the public about hidden manipulation within celebrity culture. The audience is encouraged to reinterpret years of headlines through this new perspective. Moments that once looked chaotic are now described as possible cries for help or attempts to expose powerful people. One of the strongest retention tactics in this section is how the narrator repeatedly hints that there are secrets too dangerous to fully reveal. Instead of making direct conclusions, the script constantly uses phrases like allegedly, some believe, and many people think. This wording protects the narrative while simultaneously making it feel even more mysterious. Viewers begin imagining possibilities far beyond what is actually being said. The uncertainty itself becomes addictive because the audience keeps searching for hidden meaning inside every clip and accusation. The video then moves into discussing how powerful celebrity figures allegedly recruit or compromise rising stars. According to the narrator, newcomers enter Hollywood unaware of the pressures waiting for them. Exclusive parties, elite social circles, and industry relationships are described almost like traps designed to create leverage over vulnerable celebrities. The script references interviews and podcasts discussing exploitation inside entertainment industries, blending real concerns about abuse in Hollywood with far more speculative conspiracy theories. This mixture makes the narrative emotionally compelling because it combines genuine public fears with dramatic storytelling. As the final minutes approach, the narrator becomes increasingly philosophical about fame and power itself. Hollywood is described not as an entertainment industry but as an organized system where influence, money, scandal, and fear all work together. The Kardashian family is no longer the only focus. Instead, they become symbolic of a larger culture where controversy generates profit and public attention can be weaponized endlessly. The narrator implies that many celebrities may be trapped inside the system, unable to escape because their careers, reputations, and personal secrets are all interconnected. The ending of the video is carefully designed to leave viewers emotionally unsettled rather than satisfied. Instead of providing conclusions, the narrator leaves multiple questions unanswered. They suggest that investigations are still ongoing, more names may eventually be exposed, and the public has only seen a fraction of what allegedly happens behind the scenes. This unresolved ending is one of the biggest reasons videos like this perform well in YouTube automation. Viewers leave with lingering curiosity and emotional tension, making them more likely to comment, share, or continue watching related videos. Finally, the narrator closes by directly speaking to the audience, encouraging them to wake up and pay attention to patterns hidden beneath celebrity culture. The call to action is framed not just as subscribing to a channel, but almost as joining a movement dedicated to exposing secrets powerful people supposedly want hidden. This creates emotional loyalty between the viewer and the creator. The audience feels like they are part of an exclusive group uncovering truths ignored by mainstream media. The reason the final section works so effectively for retention is because it transforms entertainment gossip into a massive overarching narrative about power, corruption, and hidden control. The script constantly escalates emotionally until the viewer feels like every celebrity scandal might be connected. Whether the audience fully believes the claims almost becomes secondary. What matters is that the video successfully creates suspense, mystery, fear, and curiosity strong enough to keep viewers engaged from beginning to end. What makes videos like this dominate YouTube retention is not necessarily the evidence being presented, but the emotional experience they create. Every section is carefully designed to raise questions, trigger suspicion, and keep the audience searching for answers. The narrator never allows the story to fully settle because unresolved tension keeps viewers emotionally invested. Each accusation leads to another mystery, each mystery introduces another celebrity, and every new connection makes the story feel larger than before. The real strategy behind this style of content is constant escalation. The audience starts watching because of one shocking headline, but they stay because the video continuously convinces them there's something even darker waiting around the next corner. That cycle of curiosity and emotional tension is what keeps viewers watching until the very end.